So here it is, what you've all been waiting for, the highlights of the semi-finals and the main final from the 1/8 track European Championships. Now, as you know, this weekend there's been 2 European Championships going on. Nick has been in Croatia for the large-scale off-road, and we've been here in Luxembourg for the 8th track. Now, what you want to know, of course, is who's got the most impressive semi. So we kicked off with the B semi-final. Robert Pitch starting on pole, Eric Dankel second, Robin de Hont third. And off of the start, Eric Dankel is jumped by Robin de Hont, drops Eric down into third place. Robin is up into second, and that's how it stays for much of the race. Slightly boring out in front. Robert Pitch dominating this race, leading pretty much every lap, apart from a few early pit stop phases. But by half distance, he was a lap clear of the rest of the field. Eric slowly works his way back up into second place at the end. Rick Vralik, who had to start last on the grid due to calling for a 10-minute timeout, slowly made his way through the field throughout the whole race and got into the final direct qualifying position, the 4th place position on the last few laps of the race, bumping Michael Salvin down into 5th place, Adrian Bernstein down to 6th. So it's going to be a wait for Salvin and for Bernstein to find out if they've made it through as one of the fastest losers. So over into the A semi-final, and Dario Balestri starting on pole, Lamberto Calare second, and it's a fairly clean start at front. Balestri already starting to extend a lead in the first few laps of the race. We can see a great battle though for second place between cars 4, 2 and 5. That's Calare, Ilya Van Gastel and Michele Romagnoli from Italy. A great battle there through much of the race. Lamberto dropping back slowly through the race as the race progresses. Not seeming to have quite the same speed he did in that last round of qualifying. Then it's a battle for second place really between Ilya Van Gastel and Michele Romagnoli, and that goes through most of the race up until about, here we got a battle, it's about 5.5 minutes left of the race. We're getting really close on the track, and in fact just after this Romagnoli gets past Van Gastel in the last pit stop, so pit stop's playing a key role even in this semi-final. So it finishes with Balestri first place, Michele Romagnoli second, Van Gastel third, Calare in 4th. Then behind them, Simon Kurzbach in 5th and Oliver Mack in 6th. Those 2 drivers again wait and see if their times are better than the drivers from the B semi to get through into that main race. So that's the semi-final action. Let's see how they line up on the grid for the main final. So starting on pole position, it's Dario Balestri from Italy. Second place on the grid, also from Italy, Michele Romagnoli. Third on the grid is Ilya Van Gastel from Belgium. 4th place on the grid, defending champion Robert Pitch from Germany. 5th on the grid, Lamberto Calare, the multiple world champion from Italy. 6th on the grid, and one of the fastest losers from the semi-finals, Simon Kurzbach from Switzerland. 7th on the grid is Eric Dankel from Germany. 8th on the grid, Robin de Hont from Belgium. 9th on the grid is Rick Vralik from the Netherlands. And 10th on the grid, the second of the fastest losers, also coming from the A semi-final from Germany, is Oliver Mack. So here we are for the start of the European Championship final. The mechanics have got the cars on the grid. Step back and we're off and racing, and it's a good clean start up front for the first few corners, round through the banking section, through the corkscrew, down the back straight. But we see Balestri in the lead make a mistake on the banking section, which puts Michele Romagnoli in the lead. In fact, we've got a battle for first place for much of the first few laps between Michele Romagnoli in the orange car number 2, and Ilya Van Gastel, the yellow car number 3. We see problems here for Lamberto Calare getting caught up in an infield scrap. And also later on, Robert Pitch makes a mistake coming off of the corkscrew. So after the first round of pit stops, the order is Ilya Van Gastel out in front, Robin de Hont is in second place, and Dario Balestri is now back up into 3rd. This is Dario racing Robert Pitch. And here we go, we got the first 5 cars really close together on the track. These 5 cars on the straight together. Oh, and Balestri touches with de Hont, and that puts Robert Pitch through into second place, and Calare gained as well, he's up to 4th. Okay, so just had another round of pit stop, and Robert Pitch has just taken the lead. Both Ilya Van Gastel and Dario Balestri had some poor pit stops. Robert is now in the lead. Here he comes onto the pit straight now. And then we can see Balestri behind him, and Van Gastel's dropped back even further. And here comes Dario into the pit lane, the pink car. Fuel goes into the car. And here's the tyre change for Dario. Looks nice and smooth on the first side of the car. The second, the tyres go on. Oh, a little bit of a stuck tyre there, but it's a fairly clean stop and he's out of the pit lane. So Dario Balestri, car number 1, has had some problems with his car. He's just thrown it off of the track and he's been in the pit stop and his mechanics pulled the car off the track. He's got some serious handling issues with his car. He's back on the track at the moment, but it's running okay, but he's now a couple of laps down the field, so it looks like his dream of winning a European Championship title in this class is over for another year. Robert Pitch has got problems with his car. Mechanics rushing it back to the pits. Looks like he's walking down the rostrum, in fact, at the side of walking down the steps at the edge of the rostrum, but he is out of the race. So Lamberto Calari, now your race leader. Car number 5, he's been running a different pit strategy. He's got himself up into the leading position. Obviously Dario and Robert Pitch having problems with their cars. Gives Calari quite a lot of breathing room at the moment. So with just 7.5 minutes left to run, Lamberto still leading. We've only got 5 cars left on track. So Lamberto leading. We've then got Ilya Van Gastel in second place, and here we can see Rick Vrelink, 9th on the grid, is up into 3rd place. So just a real showing of how difficult this Luxembourg track is and how hard on the cars. Just how important it is to make sure you're actually still running at the end of the 45-minute race. At the moment, Rick's worked his way from 9th on the starting grid up into the 3rd place. 1 minute left on the clock now. We've got Calari going down the back straight through the bank sweeper at the end. Calari is in fact a lap up on everyone, at least a lap up on everyone, apart from 2nd place man Van Gastel. So 50 seconds left, just a few more laps for Calari to win. Well, I've lost count of how many European Championship titles he's won. He's got 9 world titles alone in this class and probably hundreds of European titles already. So he wants another one though to really cement his place as a true legend of this sport and this class. 30 seconds to go, so 2 more laps for Calari to run. Here he goes through the infield section. See Oliver Mack getting right out of his way there, let him go by nice and cleanly. About 15 seconds left. So this was probably going to be the last lap for Calari. Down the back straight he goes. Into this tricky infield section. Oh, a slight wiggle from there. His tyres have been running for about 22.5 minutes. And time has expired. He comes around the last corner. He's going to cross the line and he's going to win. Van Gastel finishes in 2nd place. And Rick Vrelink finishes in 3rd place to complete the podium. I've lost count of how many titles Lamberto has now won. Is this one as special as the first one?
Siccome dice ne hai vinti tanti, questo è speciale come il primo.
Ogni vittoria è una storia.
Every time is different emotion because each victory has a different story behind.
Congratulations, Rick. You were my dark horse pick for this event. 3rd place on the podium. How do you feel?
Pretty good, but it was very difficult final for me. So I mean, the engine was very fast, the car was fast, but sometimes inconsistent. You know, with this track, you see a lot of dust. So seeing the circumstances, it's quite happy.
So completing the top 10, we had Michele Romagnoli finishing in 4th, Oliver Mack finishing 5th. That was the end of the drivers running at the finish. Then behind them, Robin de Hont classified in 6th, Robert Pitch in 7th, Eric Dankel 8th, TQ driver Dario Balestri finishing 9th overall, and Simon Kurzbuch finishing in 10th place. Well, that concludes our coverage of the 1/8 Track European Championships. Thank you very much for joining us this week to follow along. You can join Nick next week from Germany for the 1/8 Off-Road European Championships only at EFRA.ws.